I want to play you something from a fellow minister, and I hope Christians, particularly ministers, listen to this because I'll land there. Take a listen to this.
If Tinubu becomes president of Nigeria, there is no God in heaven. And that is why the confusion that happened during the election happened. That confusion exposed the church. All these false prophets that paraded themselves all over Nigeria, they started by saying Tinubu will not win. Then after they declared him winner, they now say he will not be sworn in. They now say on the day of swearing in he will be arrested. And Obasanjo has prepared soldiers to take over government. Nonsense. Even their minds is corrupted. And that is why we keep saying, calm down, let's teach you Bible. You call us heretics. Let ignorance disgrace you before the world. Some churches fasted and prayed for Tinubu to die. The man is your commander-in-chief. Deal with that. That's how when Buhari entered office, a lot of Christians began to say he will die. They even said when he went to outside the country that he will not come back alive. Christians, churches, that he will die. The man did 8 good years and went home younger than when he became president, to show that the Lord is upright and there is no unrighteousness in him. God is not a killer. And with these false prophecies, they have destroyed the faith of many people, because many people fasted and prayed sincerely that Tinubu should die, and their God traveled. So now if you ask them to pray, they are not sure God will answer. They have eroded their faith. They have shipwrecked their faith because of lack of understanding that there's a difference between the kingdom of God and the kingdom of this world. How many of you remember I told you that this thing, God is not involved? Did I tell you that? It's a contest. It's a competition amongst men. And in a competition, men set the rules. In a competition, men draw the borderlines. In a competition, men judge the competition. And in a competition, men announce the winner of the competition. True or false? Anything that a man will set the rule cannot be God. God is not a man. Your elections, the rules are set by men. Your constitution is drawn by men. It's not Bible. It's not God. It cannot be God. God does not install presidents. God does not install presidents. Men vote who should rule them. There's a process that is set by men, and men will determine who wins, and men will announce. Didn't you go to school? It is called a democracy. What is a democracy in social studies? Government of the people, for the people, by the people. How did you bring God in? The government of God is a theocracy. You didn't hear what I said. The government of God is a theocracy. That is God's government over his people. There is no theocracy anywhere in the world. It is democracy all over the world. That is why preachers in America kept saying Donald Trump will win, and kept saying it. In fact, one woman of God was on television praying, oh God, send African angels, send African angels to come to America and make Donald Trump win. Look at caricature, disgracing themselves, men and women of God, embarrassing themselves before the world, before unbelievers, before other religions, making a caricature of themselves, allowing themselves to be overtaken by lust, ambition, and greed. All of us want Nigeria to be better, including myself. I want a better Nigeria. I want a great Nigeria. I want us to have the best of government. I want us to have development. I desire it so greatly. But it can never be the kingdom of God. It can never be. It is still the kingdom of men. It is still operated by men. And anything that men do can never be perfect. Anything that men are involved, anything that it is orchestrated by men, within the boundaries of men, it can never be perfect. Somebody even said that if Tinubu becomes president, we should amputate his leg. He said, amputate my leg. We're looking for him. Somebody even said he's a prophet. Look at that charlatan. That's a charlatan. That's what? A charlatan. Some churches, even pastors, stood on the pulpit and said, vote for this man. This man is the will of God. Let's fast and pray. How can a pastor be partisan? The pulpit is not a place for politics. The pulpit is a place, it is the pillar and the ground of the truth of the gospel. You don't use your pulpit except you don't know what the gospel is. And I don't blame them. Many of them don't know what the gospel is. They don't know what the gospel is.
Listen, I have disagreements on certain things with Pastor Abel Damina, but on this one, we agree. We have to know how to get involved in political conversations as Christians, particularly ministers, because any small thing you're saying they're disrespecting you. Maybe you should be very careful how you get into that mix. Not go there and be talking as though we're in church. They have a different kidney. And all those pastors who gave those prophecies, I saw one is in prison now for another case. And people just said all kinds of things back in the day. And I saw children. Let me tell you, the most painful part of that last election was watching young kids, children, not even not just young people, little kids, children, praying, crying, because their parents told them to do so. Because their parents assumed that if those kids cried and prayed to God for Peter Obi, he would win. You saw the video all over the place now.
Peter Obi, you win this election. It's only you that we know. Jesus come down from heaven. Angels come down from heaven. God come down from heaven and help us. We cannot do it without you. Enough is enough for this suffering. We don't want to suffer again. See now, I'm a small boy. I'm crying for you. I'm leaning down for you. Jesus, please let Peter Obi win. Let our future be bright. Let our life. We don't sit at the throne. We don't sit at the throne. Peter Obi, you will sit at the throne. You will sit at the throne, Peter Obi. Peter Obi, you will sit at the throne. And this thread is red. And this thread is ready now. It's how you will rule us. It's how you will get this thing. It's how you will get this election. It's how you will win this election. Peter Obi, you will rule us. Tinubu will not.
Because if Tinubu wins this election, I will not talk to God again. I'm saying it now. If Tinubu wins this election, I am not talking to God again. God, you better do something about this election, because I did not go to church today because I'm keeping my list with God. I'm seriously keeping my list with Him. If you do not do something, if you allow Tinubu win this election, I will not go to church again. I will keep my list. I will not talk to God.
How would you put children through that kind of thing? Then years later, those kids will tell you that they don't believe in Jesus, they don't believe in God anymore. You'll be kind of over the place and say Satan has taken over. You were one of the people that Satan used, just destroying the faith of young children. What's the business of kids? Bringing them into a place where you made them pray, crying with tears in their eyes, on their faces. Then you now put camera sonu. The children were now praying. You now put those videos on social media. Like children are praying for Peter Obi. Has he become president now? I don't know what people are doing with all this faith thing. And God cannot be mocked. God cannot be mocked. You can't be shouting China went to China, any small thing in Bangladesh, and you expect that you are the one that, even if God was the one appointing ministers or presidents, does he appoint people like that? Look through the Bible. Was Daniel like that? Was Daniel telling the king of Persia that, oh, Egypt went to Egypt? Was that what Daniel was doing in the courts of the king? If not like that thing they do, he go serve many kings in Persia. Or Joseph, when Pharaoh spoke to Joseph just be like, if Israel went to Israel, if Syria went to Syria. He had strategies, he had a plan. He told him what to do. We're going to take 20% of whatever we're earning, we're going to save 1/5. Then after a while, we'll take this from the people, we'll give them grain. After a while, we'll go from a percentage of the agricultural produce to livestock. From livestock, we'll go to real estate. From real estate, the king owns everything. The king apportions lands to them and gives them grain. Everything is strategically stated. You can read Genesis. Some things in the Bible is not just about religion. You find strategy. Clear-cut plans. Like, even if you implement those plans in your own business today, you see effect. Not be shouting, say, I went to Egypt. Meanwhile, let me just tell you, I support Tinubu. This platform, I'm not a pastor. I can be partisan in this particular matter. Last election, I was not partisan because of obvious reasons. But this one, I am partisan. I'm supporting Tinubu. And one example why you should support him is this particular clip. Take a listen.
What are you going to do different? Why should Nigerians be voting for you?
Because I'm different. I am Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have governed Lagos. I built a model state that could be a country on its own. I've led an administration that is so prudent. From 600 million internally generated revenue to 5 billion a month. That's a record. Nobody else can brag about that. I've treated and tamed the Atlantic Ocean surge in Nigeria that will have perished many people in Lagos. The infrastructural renewal of Lagos is excellent. I've continuity in Lagos. Buhari has done his best. I can't run away from him being my friend, my leader.
Why you should be voted for as president of this country and not your opponent. And I'm going to start with you, Mr. Peter Obi.
Mine is again talk about the issues we're talking this night, because that is the issue of foundation of our country. First is to secure, unite the country. Our country has not failed in the past, call it several years. And you can use other countries to show, I'll just use the country to show you how badly it was done in a matter of past few years. And that country is Bangladesh. In 2010, Nigeria had a per capita of $2,280. Bangladesh was $781.
Why should we vote for you, Bangladesh? Kí ni gbogbo rádaràda ètò lọ? Democracy is an interesting concept too, because on a normal day, oh dear, some people should even come close to even aspiring to be Bangladesh. Tí ó bá jẹ́ China, á jẹ́ Vietnam. Tí ó bá ṣe Vietnam, á jẹ́ Egypt, àbí kó jẹ́ Bangladesh, or kó jẹ́ one country. Kò lè fi. He would never use his own state to explain why he should become president. Tinubu just told you what he did. He literally tamed the ocean. I was there. Amadu Bello Way, VI. You know how that place was before the Great Wall was built in Lagos. We all know now. In the early 2000s, at least, you saw how you are driving. It's as if you are doing bagang. When rain falls, it's as though it's not even as though the ocean was already encroaching on Victoria Island. He tamed that. He can tell you what he did. You can't even say there was erosion in your state and you fixed it. No, it's Bangladesh. Enter the come and vote for Lele in the name of the Christian. When we are ready as believers, we will bring somebody that actually Tinubu knows what he's doing. Meanwhile, I'm a Yoruba man. All these Christian Muslim things doesn't concern me. Christian versus Muslim, I could come me. So you think now that a Northerner comes down and say, oh, because he's a Muslim, he must not get there. I'm a Christian, I must have it. What if that man actually knows what he's doing more than the one who's shouting, kini, kini? So I should be following Bangladesh because I want to prove faith. We're all children of God, but nobody say we just be blind. Say because somebody's name is Peter or Paul or John, therefore the person knows what they're talking about. We'll come back to other news, but let's get to today's main topic.